The playoffs are back at Lambeau, and the temps, well, they're where you would expect them in the frigid range. Just how the Cheeseheads like it here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Tonight we continue with Wild Card Weekend with what should be a great one between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. Win or go home is the mantra, and off we go. We're underway in this NFC Wild Card game. And this is going to be returned from middle of the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4 on second down.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back down and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
From the 24, Rodgers, and he's got his receiver. That's Sammy Watkins. Well, a quick slant, good for 8 and a first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. On play action, it's Rodgers. Throw complete to the tight end, Tunyon. And past the 30 before he's out of bounds. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first.
Nice job, nice patience right there. Put him on the right side, let him work his way across, put the ball in his hands, and let him work his way upfield with a catch.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. Brian Asamoah making the play defensively, meeting him behind the line for a loss.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
Now on 2nd and 13, Rodgers. And this is caught by Watkins. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
He's got exactly what you're looking for. The ability to not just diagnose a play and quickly, but to make a play as well. Nice job there tackling him for a loss.
Rodgers going to go on 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Packers unable to pick up the first. And this defense holds on the night's opening drive. Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 48. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Great stop by Devontae Wyatt, breaking through the line and stopping it cold.
That was a good illustration of setting the edge as a defensive end. Being able to make sure that you stay on your feet no matter what type of block, and you're not going to get pushed inside. Stayed home, skated to the outside, and made the play.
Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run.
Big plays always wind up being a big theme as we get rolling these playoffs, and the defenses that can avoid giving them up, but they're the teams that tend to go far. You may not eliminate those big plays, but if you can limit them, then you've got a chance to get to the ultimate game.
Cousins now to throw on 1st down. That's to Cook out of the backfield. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Cousins to throw it. And it's caught in the end zone for the Viking touchdown by Justin Jefferson. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Vikings will strike first here in this wild card matchup. And Johnson's extra point up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Here's Johnson set and ready to kick this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And last time they were stopped on 4th down, had a drive stalled out. We'll see how they respond this go-around.
I'm eager to see what their mindset is, because moving the ball, feeling good, and then that abrupt stop on 4th down, do they go back to the bench and go, oh, boy, they got something for us, or do they go to the bench and say, we blew it ourselves, let's get back out there and move the ball again?
And is it different when you get stopped on 4th versus punt? Is that more motivation for the defense, a little more confidence?
I think as a defense, you're so excited with a...
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Andrew Booth picks it off, and the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. Well, these defensive coaches, they sure like what they've got in this rookie corner, and with good reason, as you saw there.
He only cost him a day 2 pick, and a lot of people thought he had first-round ability. But when he was available on draft night, that was one where you didn't need the full time to make the selection. You called that pick in early, and he shows why he was so coveted.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. The safety, Adrian Amos, comes crashing in for the sack.
Well, that's an excellent way to get the pass rush activated. The first sack of the game for them comes on the first play of the drive, and it makes it very tough for the opponent to pick up a first down now, playing behind the sticks.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began, thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on first down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. And now a timeout coming from the defensive side for the Packers. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Third down, Dalvin Cook. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. Call it a gain of 5. 4th down now.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
So on 4th down, Ryan Wright on to punt for Minnesota. And he'll send this one into the cold Lambeau night. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive, in particular if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ballgame.
Yeah, some guys, you know, they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes, get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that'll give them a short yardage situation here for second down. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And some space here. Touchdown, Packers!
Earlier in the week when they had their scouting report meeting, this was the explosiveness that they talked about trying to contain. They were concerned about it all week. Yet he still did it to them. Wonder how that's going to carry over the rest of the game.
Crosby connects on the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So I'll leave it at 7 now as they kick it away. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
So it's the big left tackle who gets tagged with a hold.
And sometimes you're actually executing the block well, and he starts to slip off of you, and instinctively you reach out and grab him. And when it's done like that, it's often seen by the official and called.
On play action, Cousins. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, you've got a receiver here who's got 1 touchdown already in this first quarter, and they were trying to double his pleasure there. Wanting to continue to go to the guys already gotten into the end zone. But good coverage to make sure that this time it fell incomplete.
Second and 20. Throwing, Cousins. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
See the Packers defensively 6 DBs, so a dime look on third.
Could play coverage or bring pressure.
Now Cousins. And this one complete to Will Fuller. Touchdown, Vikings! They talked about stringing together some explosive plays here in the playoffs. That was a pretty explosive play.
It certainly was. And if you're going to win on the road, it certainly helps to have big playability in your hip pocket, doesn't it?
And Johnson's extra point up and good. And that makes the score 14-7. Here's Johnson set and ready to kick this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They trail a one-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Well, they certainly did a nice job there, picking him up out of the backfield and then running stride for stride with him. That's good coverage, and it led to an incompletion.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again, 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now it's Rodgers. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now Rodgers. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, CD, we have seen it many times throughout the course of the season. This defense coming up large and snagging a big takeaway. But here they get not just the takeaway, 6 points as well.
And you just knew that for this team to advance, it had to get a big performance from this unit. And to this point, they've delivered.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. Now Rodgers to try again after the pick 6. And that is incomplete.
But I guess that answers the question whether or not they want him throwing it again right away after throwing the pick 6 on the previous drive.
Yeah, not something conservative or underneath. Pretty big shot right there.
Get him right back in the saddle and say, go ahead and sling it, big guy.
To throw again on 2nd down. Rodgers. This is Cobb with a catch right side. His 2nd catch of this wild card game, and it goes for a 1st down. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Hey, you block over here.
Throwing is Rodgers. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Play action. Now it's Rodgers. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Give that sack to Harrison Phillips, the big man.
Well, that's a big defensive stop there, and it takes away a lot of the momentum from the offense coming off that big completion the prior snap. Give big credit to the defense for bouncing back.
Another try after the 1st down sack. Rodgers under pressure, and they got to him again. Jordan Hicks in there to drop him, and sacks on 1st and 2nd downs. Now leads to a 3rd and long.
26.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. He finds his man, complete. That's Watkins. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. And he'll go ahead and field this at the 5. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time. Now, Charles, remember they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were on the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They run the counter with Cook. Only able to make it to the 15 after the broken tackle. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle. That's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down.
Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. On 3rd down, Cousins. Pressure comes and down he goes. Kenny Clark, he's the culprit, causes a loss of 5, and it brings up 4th down.
And here's Ryan Wright now
as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. It's fielded at the 45. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return. And the Packers will have a short field to work with here as they take over 1st and 10. Rodgers now on 1st down. That'll be complete to Allen Lazard.
And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him.
Now Jones is hit. He lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. And in this very cold night air, how much harder, Charles, is it to hang on?
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble.
Rodgers looking to throw on 3rd and 2. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Short yardage situation, you have to wonder if they thought that they were just going to run it inside. But you have to be cognizant of the back slipping out of the backfield trying to find some open space. And that's exactly what he does, to the tune of a 1st down.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. To throw is Rodgers.
He'll drop this underneath for Jones.
And he'll get this to the 22. So they began the play at the 11, and it's a gain of 11. 1st down.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Rodgers throw into the hands of Cobb. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks, because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. And he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read.
And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time.
picked off by Lewis Seen. And the Vikings are going to have it here at their own 9-yard line.
Well, Brandon, as they say in popular culture, this one's going to leave a mark because they can see the end zone, but it'll stay out of reach because of their error. All their offensive teammates have to give the quarterback right now, offer a little bit of encouragement because what's done is done. Let's get them next time out.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Good running right there, and this is a man who was a 1,000-yard rusher in the regular season, so you know he's going to get his chances, and he picks up nice yardage on that one.
On 2nd down and 4, Cousins. And some room to work. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. Final play of the half, Cousins. Catch is made here by Irv Smith Jr. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So we come upon halftime here in this NFC wildcard matchup. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. One of these two teams about to play their final half of the season as we're back at it in this NFC wildcard bout. And no fireworks to start the half. This will be a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they've been the better of the two teams through 2 quarters of play, much to the chagrin of this home crowd.
Yeah, this score is a surprise to a lot of folks at home, although not to my dad. He predicted the visitors would win. And maybe to the folks in the stadium. But you know who is not a surprise to, partner? This team with the football. They were very confident coming in.
First play's a run with Nwangu. That's to about the 28. 2nd down coming up.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. They'll go right back to Nwangu. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one by the line of scrimmage.
Got an open man finding Jefferson. Finding room at midfield. Now he's loose down the left sideline. Inside the 10. And he will step out of bounds all the way down at the 5-yard line.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
They'll run with Cook, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Dalvin Cook
A 5-yard touchdown run.
And the Vikings continue to pull the playoff surprise as they lead big here on the road. And Johnson's extra point up and good.
And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21.
Here's Johnson set and ready to kick this one away.
And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. Lets it fly deep for Cobb. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
In a game that hasn't gone your way, you've got to throw in the end zone at every opportunity and hopefully climb back in as much as possible. He put way too much on that throw, though, and that shot ends up with nothing.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Dalvin Tomlinson busting through to get him for a loss of 6.
I think we've seen this before. If someone's down 3 scores, that situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Over the middle, complete. That's Watkins. And a nice job there defensively. They get him to the ground short of the 1st, right around the 42. It'll be a gain of 12, but it will also lead to 4th down. Now with the play clock down to 2, we're going to get a timeout here. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have picked up right where they left off in half number 1, just looking really dominant, extending this lead.
And it's fun to see when teams actually do that, because so many times you go into the half after playing well.
Now Cook hit, and he lost the football.
And the Packers pick it up, and they're already in the red zone. The 18-yard line is where they take over.
Well, number 1 on the list of things not to do when you're up 3 scores. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Third quarter, wild card round. Thanks for being along for the playoff ride with us. Here's 2nd and 10. Straight ahead, here's Nwangu.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Well, they sent the power set out there, and their job is to be man-on-man and move people so they can run the football. But that time, too many men didn't get moved in the box defensively. They end up throwing him for a loss.
3rd down, here's a run by Cook.
And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
Can see this quite a bit on running plays with the guys out wide. A lot of times, though, it doesn't get caught.
You're exactly right, because it's away from the play usually, so a lot of it goes undetected. But I know this will surprise you. I coach some receivers in the offseason. We work a lot on hand placement and blocking downfield. Might want to take that course.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins.
Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted.
Adrian Amos with a pick.
And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. That's still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is a team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
So they come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
To throw, it's Rodgers. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception.
And the Vikings are going to take over at their own 41. But, Charles, I know you appreciate seeing this great defense, especially with the heightened intensity of the postseason. These two defenses, they have risen to the occasion to force back-to-back interceptions.
You know me well, Brandon. I always stand with my fellow defenders. And I love watching them make plays. And you nailed it. It's playoff time. This is when it matters most.
And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop it behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Again, it's Cook.
And only a couple for him there as the tackle is made at the 42.
In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. One quarter remains in this NFC wild card matchup.
And here's Ryan Wright now
as he's on to punt for Minnesota. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line.
They are most likely staring at a cold end to their season here in this wild card round. Nothing has gone. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Troy Pride. Gets past one man. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his second interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ballgame, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete. Well, fourth quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
On the jet sweep, here comes Jefferson. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
Cousins gives way to Cook. And he's going to be stopped well short of what he needed as the tackle is made at the 18-yard line. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
And Johnson's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately, not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. On play action, Rodgers.
And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. And they stop him up short of the 1st down as they get him at about the 43. That'll be good for 6, but now it's 4th down.
That was a good forceful run, and it demonstrates why you've got to put your body on a runner when you're trying to tackle him. If you just go in there and just try and get him down with arm tackles, usually doesn't work very well, and we saw in that play, he'll run right through those attempted plays.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Green Bay. Fair catch called for and taken just inside the 10-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
It's been a dominant performance to this point, Charles, and this is probably exactly how they scripted this and envisioned it. They got a 3-score lead, fourth quarter, and a chance if they want to continue to pour it on here.
It is their call, isn't it? I mean, the way that they have taken on this game and the way that they have carried this game and have dominated this game, you're exactly right. Do what you want down the stretch. We are in the era of, hey, if you don't want us to do this to you, then you need to stop us. Their call to finish this one off.
On second down, it's Cook again.
And he'll be taken down at the 18. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
And here's Ryan Wright now,
standing just outside his own goal line. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter.
And here's Ryan Wright now
as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return, and we have reached the 2-minute warning. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line.
Saying their fans here are stunned would be an understatement. Things in this wild card round have not gone according to plan. That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. After the penalty, it's Jones. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. Now on 2nd and 16. Rodgers. Wide open is Watkins. He's got him. And he's going to wind up with a 1st down as he's able to even dive for a little extra yardage at the tail end there. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
And they'll indeed take a knee.
Third down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Now the Vikings will continue on in these playoffs as we say so long, everybody.